man. You good. Yeah. You too, and you too, man. Have a good weekend. Because I'm better than him at every single aspect. I'm both different. I'm the champion for a reason, and he's gonna find.
To me, it all comes down to, can Dricus do that repeatedly for a number of rounds? And if he can, how does Khamzat?
Dricus Du Plessis isn't holding back. In a fiery new statement, the UFC champ mixed fight talk with personal digs, keeping tensions with Khamzat Chimaev high. Additionally, Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis crossed paths at the Fighter Hotel in Chicago, exchanging a handshake. However, fans online were quick to point out that the noticeable size difference, with many commenting on how much larger Khamzat appeared next to Dricus.
Man. You good. Yeah. You too, and you too, man. Have a good weekend. See you on fight now, man. It's gonna be a good one. Let's do it.
In response to the size talk, Dricus Du Plessis dismissed the claims, emphasizing that Khamzat Chimaev is not bigger than him. He added that he does not care about Khamzat's size, maintaining that there is no size advantage in Khamzat's favor.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe the angle. I haven't seen the video, but I can promise you, you'll see. You'll see. I mean, I stood in front of him. He's definitely not taller than me. Maybe a little, maybe like half an inch, but I don't know. But yeah, you'll see. Well, I mean, and the other thing, I don't give a shit how big he is. It's not what wins fights, but yeah, I saw him. He's definitely not bigger than me.
In addition, MMA Guru slammed the claims that the video proved Khamzat was bigger, arguing that basic perspective and angles explain the illusion. Guru bashed the people, saying that basic concepts like angles and perspective or something people grasp from a young age.
Chimaev, listen, you thought I mogged Dricus, okay? I was maybe a mini step in front of him in terms of like how closer I was to the camera than he was. Maybe half a step in front of him. Chimaev was like 4 or 5 feet closer to the camera. Dricus is in the far background, and everyone's like, Chimaev's a fucking heavyweight. Chimaev's so much bigger than Dricus Du Plessis. We learned about perspective when we were 5 years old. And MMA Twitter right now, I can't find a sane reaction to Chimaev and Du Plessis meeting and shaking hands.
He further explained that the camera's positioning exaggerated the height difference, making it seem as if Chimaev towered over Du Plessis when that wasn't actually the case.
Chimaev is like 5 feet closer to the camera than Dricus Du Plessis. Reaches out, they grab each other's hands. Du Plessis does a bit of a range checker on him. Du Plessis far in the background, and everyone's like, dude, they're going to be an inch different. They're an inch different in height. Chimaev is going to be about an inch and a half taller. Not quite as big as me, but a little bit shorter. I don't think the height difference is going to be that noticeable. I really don't. You know, I've seen him next to Whitaker. I mean, he's a big dude, and Chimaev is huge for the division, but his torso isn't that big. His frame is, his shoulders are. He's got a very narrow chest and torso. You know, he's not bulbous in his muscle groups. They're all tucked in, you know.
Adding to that, Dricus Du Plessis revealed that Khamzat Chimaev showed nothing but respect when they met, expressing that he was glad to see Dricus healthy and prepared for the fight. However, Dricus made it clear that once the cage door closes, he will be ready to go to war and finish Khamzat.
Yeah, I saw him. I mean, there was nothing but respect. I mean, he said to me that he's happy that I'm healthy and ready to go. And I said to him, right back at you. I mean, you know, it doesn't always have to be that hostile. But when the cage door closes, I'm in there to kill him. A guy like Khamzat is deserving of all this hype, you know, the way he's been doing things. But just on resume, my resume kicks his ass. It's not even a question. But, you know, it's Khamzat. He's a big name and he has a massive following. And
furthermore, Dricus Du Plessis asserted that Khamzat Chimaev will not be able to dominate him, claiming he's the superior fighter in all aspects of the game.
Because I'm better than him at every single aspect. I'm both different. I'm the champion for a reason, and he's going to find that out on Saturday night.
On top of that, analysts noticed that Dricus Du Plessis subtly testing his reach against Khamzat Chimaev by placing his hand on him, a move reminiscent of how Tom Aspinall measures his opponents before a bout.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, you too, and you too, man. Have a good weekend. See you on fight now, man.
At the same time, Dricus Du Plessis said he pictures himself leaving the cage with his belt and title intact. When they make the walk to the octagon, he stated there will be no champion since both will be fighting for the same title, and he is certain that he will be the one taking it home. He added that he does not care how fans view Khamzat, as there will always be another top contender. Right now, Khamzat is simply the contender that DDP needs to beat in order to continue his journey to being the best.
Fight playing out.
I visualize this fight with me winning the belt back. You know, when we walk out there, the belt is given. There's not a champion. When we walk in there, both of us are fighting for that title, and I know I'm going home with that belt. You know, as far as he goes, I mean, I don't care what the fans see. Every time I defend that title, there's going to be a next best guy. And that's how I see him. He's the next step. He's the next guy on my way to becoming the greatest, and that's all he is. So I know it's going to be an electrifying fight. Whether it goes 5 rounds or the first round, it will be what people expect. Yeah, I mean, I got the best striker in Asia. I got the best boxer in Strickland. Now it's just the other side of the spectrum. You know, everybody sees this is the best wrestler. It's okay. Let's see.
Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall believes the outcome of the fight will largely hinge on the first grappling exchange. If Dricus can successfully defend the sequence Khamzat brings, it could change the entire dynamic. The key question, according to Aspinall, is whether Dricus can defend those attempts repeatedly over multiple rounds. And if so, how Khamzat will look once faced with that resistance.
I think a lot of it comes down to that first grappling exchange. A lot of it comes down to that. If Dricus can defend that sequence that he does, which is like a low double to back take, there's so many guys who can't defend that, or if they have defended it, once he gets that body lock and starts to get the hook in, guys just can't seem to escape that. So to me, it all comes down to, can Dricus do that repeatedly for a number of rounds? And if he can, how does Khamzat look after that?
Additionally, Michael Venom Page said he cannot understand how Dricus Du Plessis has achieved so much, given his unorthodox style that should not work in paper. He compared Dricus' approach to an amateur throwing punches at the highest level, noting that his speed makes him appear messy.
I just don't get why Du Plessis has achieved so much, because and again I say it sounds like I keep saying it. I keep saying it, and I feel ultra disrespectful, and I don't mean to be. I'm just trying to be honest with how my feelings on when I watch him. He seems like, and I used an example earlier on, which I feel is fitting, and as you as a fighter will understand. Sometimes you can spar some, like new guys in the gym, just like they don't have the experience, but they hit you because they do some crazy stuff. They can wing their hands and just do random stuff, and it lands because it's not a conventional punch or it's not a conventional kick.
Furthermore, Page added that at first glance, no one would have predicted Dricus would one day become a world champion, but MVP emphasized that somehow DDP grinds his way to success.
That's what Du Plessis represents for me, but at the highest level, and his fights seem messy. Like there's nothing about him that says if I was to see him on the rise, I would ever pick him to say, okay, that's going to be the guy, the next guy that's going to be a world champion. But one thing he does exceptionally well is he knows how to grind out a win. He just seems to know. He just seems to find his way to success.
Interestingly, MVP states that this marks the last time he will ever bet against Dricus Du Plessis. He believes that if DDP beats Khamzat, no one in the division can take DDP down.
And this will, I'm telling everybody, this will be the last time I bet against him. If he beats Khamzat, I'm never betting against him ever again. Like, I'm literally ever again. I don't care if you lot are telling me he's going to be fighting John Jones. I'm going to be like, he's going to win. I don't care. I'm telling everyone this now. I'm edging Khamzat because I've had the privilege of getting to see him as well. But yeah, DDP just seems to know how to find his way to victory. So if he wins again, then yeah, never again. Never again.
Moreover, Tim Welch pointed out that Dricus Du Plessis has been taken down by fighters like Darren Till and others who are not heavily reliant on striking. However, he praised Dricus' recent training, highlighting his impressive physicality. Despite that, Tim predicted with full confidence that Khamzat Chimaev would take Dricus down in the first round, stating that if Khamzat manages to lock his grip underneath Dricus' nose, the fight would be as good as over.
Dricus was getting taken down by Darren Till, all those guys, but I guess the way he's been training is pretty crazy. I mean, he's got a big neck, he's got big traps. Khamzat is taking him down in that first round 110%.
Probably in the first 15 milliseconds.
Can he defend him off his neck? Can if Khamzat gets his hands attached underneath Dricus' nose, it's probably going to be over.
It was 2022. Wasn't that long ago, huh?
Yeah, it's like, fuck, dude. He's got to survive. He's got to survive. Remember, Usman was on his way to beating Khamzat if he had 2 more rounds.
Allegedly.
I mean, he was, dude.
Khamzat
was puckering the fuck
fucking
out.
puckered too.
In addition to that, Tim Wilt stated that he would like to see Dricus Du Plessis win, but just for the sheer excitement of it, he wants Khamzat Chimaev to get the victory. However, he voiced concern that if Khamzat does win, the division could slow down, as there is uncertainty over how Khamzat would actually compete.
God, I want Dricus to win. I want Dricus to win. For excitement-wise, I want Khamzat to win. But I'm worried if Khamzat wins, he ain't fighting again.
Yeah, I think that if, like, the thing with Khamzat is you have to keep his pace for the first 5 minutes. And keeping that pace, you can't allow yourself to make a mistake, because if you make one mistake in the first 5 minutes with that pace, he's going to end it.
Furthermore, Chris Weidman highlighted the disconnect between fan perception and the reality of both fighters. He noted that when Dricus Du Plessis first entered the UFC, many people were skeptical on him. Despite securing numerous wins and finishes, critics continued to dismiss him due to his awkward, unorthodox fighting style. Few believed he would ever become a champion.
You can't think of two guys who are at the highest level that came in with such a different idea from the fans of who they are. Because when DDP came in, people thought he sucked. You know, he was getting wins and he had some finishes, but we're like, this guy looks awful. The way it just wasn't pleasant to the eye. It wasn't a guy you looked at as who was going to become a champion. But he was able to put one win after the other and then beat one legend after the other, like what he did to Robert Whittaker. And then Adesanya, people talked about, oh my God, Adesanya's wrestling sucks. You should be able to just take him down and submit him, but nobody could do it. And he did it. Like, he was doing things, he's done things that everyone said you could do.
On the flip side, Weidman recalled how Khamzat Chimaev burst onto the UFC scene by hoisting opponents over his head while chatting with Dana White mid-fight. From day one, he displayed raw power and explosive athleticism, instantly earning the reputation of a future champion.
He's really that good. He's championship level, and immediately everyone got behind him. He became one of the biggest stars in the UFC almost immediately, you know, which was crazy. As a guy who was just fighting these low-level guys, you know, on Fight Island, people were all in, and he just got such a huge fan base. One, with his fight style, but again, it went to him just being himself when he picked up that mic. His personality, you know, his English is not the best, but I smash you, brother. I smash everybody, you know, and with more intensity than that. But he was just a guy that you really believe could be a champion. But there was so many holdups now. You know, he went from being very active to very inactive. He had you know, the COVID thing. He had long COVID. He got sick. He wasn't able to fight for a while. Then he had visa issues.
On the other hand, Sean Brady said Khamzat Chimaev usually overpowers his opponents, but he is unsure if that will be the case against Dricus Du Plessis, noting that Dricus is a very big and imposing fighter.
Steamroll DDP?
Yes.
Yes. Is it there for DDP to make this a dogfight and get up and keep, and like every time he gets up, he's going to get up, and as soon as they disengage, he's going to be right on them, punching them, getting them tired. A lot more physical than all these guys. I don't know if he's going to be more physical than DDP. DDP was saying he's walking around like outside camp 230. He's thick, thick, dog.
Yeah,
and he's 6'1", so he's not like he's big.
Furthermore, Brady predicted the press conference would be entertaining, calling Dricus Du Plessis a sharp trash talker with genuine humor. He expects plenty of lively exchanges before fight night, and in the end, he backed Dricus to get the win.
He be talking heavy.
He may be top. He may be top 5 up there too. In the sense
be
of
talking
trash talking.
shit.
He be making motherfuckers.
You know what it is? It's not even just the trash talk. It's what you said is what's oozing off of him is the fact that he's dismissing you almost. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna pick DDP.
Damn.
Is he the dog? Let me see.
Adding to that, Alexander Volkanovski warned that Khamzat Chimaev could face problems in the later rounds. He acknowledged that in a one-round scenario centered in MMA, wrestling, and grappling, Khamzat might be the best in the sport.
I don't think people know he's a good grappler and be like, oh, hey, he's cool. But when it comes to MMA, grappling, wrestling, I could say he would probably be if you had 1 round to prove yourself, Chimaev, hands down. I've got Chimaev. You know, you got Islam's and all that. 5 rounds, you know, I think his style suits better for the longer, you know, a 25 minutes or, you know, a 15 minutes. But 5-minute round.
However, he noted that Chimaev's high-intensity style is meant for 5 minutes of dominance, which may not be as effective over the duration of a full fight.
Big problems. Dricus knows that. What I loved listening to Dricus talk about. Dricus was talking about, yeah, is he going to take me down? Yeah, 100%. I almost tried to do the South African accent there. I'm not even going to bother. 100%. He knew it. He's like, yeah, of course. But he's like, but then he's like, yeah, that's all right. But is he going to hold me down? Or how long can he hold me down? Is he going to finish me? No. So he knows. And I love that, because that's what you need to know. You need to be like, oh, no, I'm going to work so much on my takedown defense, and I'm going to tell myself I ain't getting taken down. You're almost setting yourself up for failure, because then you know what I mean? What? So are you even doing work on the ground?
However, Bedtime MMA predicted that Chimaev would out-grapple Du Plessis, believing he can secure takedowns consistently, even in lesser than stellar performances. He argued that Chimaev's skill set is strong enough to avoid being finished or taking significant damage from DDP on the feet.
I think that he has a solid enough game to not get finished or really get tagged up by DDP on the feet. And I really feel like the way that DDP fights and the way that he blitzes in opens him up. And this is why I compare it to Usman Buckley. Is I can just see DDP blitzing in and Chimaev just ducks under, takes him down again and again and again. Just double leg, boom, runs him into the cage. He's sitting on his butt. Chimaev immediately gets on his back, just controls him, starts landing little ground and pound. And DDP has to keep getting up again and again and again. And I feel like not only does that open him up for takedowns, but I can even see Chimaev landing straight jabs down the middle, which he's really good at, as well as his uppercut. Like when DDP starts to high guard as he gets tired, I think Chimaev can land the uppercut even if he's tired as well.
Furthermore, Bedtime dismissed the popular belief that Chimaev is only a 2-round fighter who gasses out afterwards, expressing confidence that Khamzat's cardio will look sharper and more improved in this fight.
I made a whole video discussing this, but I think his gas tank will look improved in this fight. I don't think he's a 2-round fighter, and he just dies of cardio once it leaves round 2. And I feel like when you look at DDP's fights, there's so many moments where he looks exhausted against Adesanya, and against Strickland in the first fight, against Brunson, against Till, but he still wins anyways. And that I could just say the exact same thing for Chimaev. If anything, I think DDP looks more tired in those fights than Chimaev has looked in any other fight. Maybe the Bones fight is an exception, but I would say DDP looked more tired against Adesanya and Brunson and Till in moments than Chimaev has looked in any of his fights. I think DDP has so much heart and durability that I'm not going to say Chimaev just steamrolls him. I think he's really good at overwhelming.
With the fight drawing closer, the back and forth between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev has evolved into a battle of narratives, each side armed with its own confidence, doubts, and predictions. From heated trash talk to respectful hotel encounters, from technical breakdowns to psychological jabs, the build-up has been as unpredictable as the fighters themselves. That's going to be a fascinating clash, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more fight analysis, and drop your predictions for Khamzat vs Dricus in the comments below.